All right, we are live. Hey folks, how you doing? How you all doing? I'm going to try this format here, YouTube, and I'm going to upload the live video when it's done over to the Facebook Eczema Healing community, so that those of you asking questions over there can get the responses in this video format. I'm going to keep this first one quite brief. If there's any of you that are on this live chat, then you can ask questions on the chat, and I will see how it goes to answer them as we are live. But for now, I'm going to get into some of the questions that people have been asking in the Eczema Healing community, and I'm going to prioritize those that are on the paid for platforms, of course. So I'm going to get to your questions first, and some of those have come from the Eczema Healing programs that I offer, the monthly packages, the email coaching packages. Some people just want an answer in a video format rather than a written format. So the first topic is CBD oil. CBD oil. I keep getting asked about CBD oil. Probably 2 or 3 times a week there's a question at least about CBD oil. And there's a website in particular that somebody's asking me about called Saving Grace, savinggraceoil.com. I don't know if any of you have used that website. It's a very well laid out website, and the products there seem to be very reputable. They've got some badges, they've got some accolades from companies that they're working with. CBD oil is, I don't think there's any question now that it is helpful for a wide variety of diseases. And I think the reason why I've hesitated in the past to talk about it is because it wasn't part of my own healing journey. In some ways, I wish it was. I wish there was more information around it at the time, but there wasn't, and so I never tried it. I've used it since. I've just tried using other people's products since, and I can't say that there was any harm caused from using those products. At the same time as that, because I don't have a problem with eczema anymore, I can't personally say whether or not there was any benefits for me. And as you know, as hopefully you know, I don't like talking about anything that I don't have personal experience of. But with that being said, I have a number of clients now who have used CBD oil as part of their healing process. And exactly how it works, I don't really know. But I'm a big believer in judging via results and not theory. And it definitely seems to have worked to reduce inflammation, give people more of a deeper sleep at night, especially when it's used in the evenings. And yeah, I think using CBD oil as part of your eczema healing program is not going to be harmful, and I would say start small and go from there and see how you go. Those of you that are coaching directly with me, let's talk about this one-to-one in our personal chats. And if you want to bring it in and you want to experiment with it together, let me know, because there seems to be some good results out there regarding CBD. So thank you, Robin, for your question about that. Right, moving on. Smoothies. Somebody says they've watched all of my videos. Firstly, I just want to say I don't think anyone's watched all of my videos, because you know, if someone's watched every single, there's over 100 videos on this YouTube channel, and if you're watching on Facebook, over on YouTube, eczemahealing.org. Just to be clear, eczemahealing.org is the YouTube channel. Subscribe and hit the bell so you get notifications, and you can see when I go live, and you can come on and speak with me live here on YouTube. If you've watched all of my videos, every single one, then I don't think you'd have these questions. Or else you've watched the videos but you've forgotten what I've said in the videos, because honestly 99.9% of topics that you could ask about eczema are covered on the YouTube channel. So there is a playlist, the Complete Guide to Healing Eczema playlist on my channel, and if you click on that, that will take you through over 100 videos of the most important stuff concerning how to start, continue, and expand your healing journey, get to the point where you're thriving and you're not just trying to live and survive with eczema, but really getting to the point where you're reversing it. So this question, firstly, drinking smoothies increases the heat in blood, which makes you more itchy, so why drink it? So that's the first part of the question. Let's just address that. So smoothies, what you're saying here is drinking smoothies increases the heat in blood, which makes you more itchy. I don't know if you're referring to an Ayurvedic thing, where refined sugars from fruits can be warming to the body, or if you're just talking about sugar being naturally inflammatory. But look, whenever you eat food, you will get a temporary glucose high. Your blood sugar will go up. So if you want to call that warmth into your blood, fine. That will happen, and that's natural and normal and correct for that to happen every time you eat food, especially fruits and high sugar containing foods. But then a correct system, a correct digestive system, will make sure that sugar is moved through the system, put into the cells to power your body, and it's no longer sitting in your bloodstream anymore, and your blood sugar will then drop soon afterwards. What happens in diabetic people or pre-diabetic people is that sugar high, that high blood sugar maintains itself over a longer period of time, indicating that the sugar is not exiting the blood properly. And the main causation of this is refined fats that are in the bloodstream and in your body in general, which are blocking insulin receptor sites. This is all the work of Dr. Neil Barnard. A great book to read is How to Prevent and Reverse Diabetes by Dr. Neil Barnard, and he goes into blood sugar, basically how to eat plant-based foods, healthy plant-based foods that we should be eating, fruits, vegetables, how to eat these things and not show diabetic symptoms, not show a warming of the blood or blood sugar maintaining highs over a longer period of time. You get your temporary high when you first eat your fruits, and then it will settle down again, and you go on through your day until the next meal where it happens all over again. Now, glycemic index, you can reduce the effect of this whole sugar high that we're talking about by choosing lower GI foods. However, what you're also reducing usually when you do that is the amount of calories that you're getting from this food. And pragmatically, how this works in the real world is if you are eating fewer calories from these healthier sources, then you are going to need eventually to replace those calories from other sources. And those other sources might end up being worse than the original source. So to get to the crux of your question, yes, smoothies increase the heat in the blood, which makes you more itchy. So why drink it? Well, you drink it because eventually that itchiness doesn't happen anymore, and you drink it because it's good, solid fuel for the body. And the body runs really well off of simple sugars and glucose. The brain runs exclusively off glucose. We need this healthy food. We need these foods in our system. If you're really, really struggling with sugar right now, then sure, go easy on the smoothies, or choose your combinations of smoothie better, or make sure you're drinking your smoothie slow enough. So chew your smoothies so that it's got a chance to mix with the saliva and start the digestive process properly. And also make sure you're eating food in order of digestion. So don't be putting things like citrus and bananas and stuff together. That's not going to combine well. Eat your high water content stuff first, and then move through to your heavier fruits and veggies afterwards. And keep a log of your digestion, keep a log of your itchiness, how your skin has been doing, and eventually you'll work out the perfect compromise for you. You'll work out the way that you can drink smoothies like I'm suggesting that you do, and minimize the amount of itching that you're getting from this stuff passing through your system. Secondly, how to clear the redness, darkness on the face. So there's three parts to your question. Let's get to part two there. Clearing redness and darkness in the face. Yeah, so clearing darkness and redness in the face. Now, this is a pretty broad question, and it kind of depends when this darkness and redness is occurring. If this is post eczema, if you're talking about PIH here, post inflammatory hyperpigmentation, and you've got some darkness or some reddening, depending on your color, your skin color, left over after healing from eczema, then do you know what? If you've healed your eczema using natural forms, natural means like how we talk about in these videos, then you just got to keep doing what you're doing, and eventually that PIH will go away as well. I don't recommend getting tempted into doing surgery or laser therapy or anything like that to get rid of it. I recommend just look, if you've responded so well already and you're at the point where you've got PIH now and no eczema, then just continue what you're doing, because your body's responding well, and it's going to continue to heal that area that it's already been doing. That stands to reason. Hopefully that's logical for you. If you're talking about redness and darkening whilst you've still got eczema, then it's just part of the process. It's part of dealing with eczema. It's natural for an area that's got a high level of inflammation going on, a high level of toxic release happening, to be discolored, either reddened or darkened. That is all part of the eczema. That's all part of the symptom here. And to address that, then all of the usual advice applies. So getting enough sleep, hydration, cutting out inflammatory foods like animal products and processed foods, anything refined, have it in very, very small amounts, if at all. Whole foods, plant-based, that's what we're talking about. Eat in order of digestion, get plenty of rest, and move your body as much as you feel able to do, depending on where you are in this process. If you're having a healing crisis, don't move your body so much. If you're doing pretty well, you're getting some more energy from the food that you're eating, use that energy to get outside, move your body, get some fresh air, get some vitamin D, and try and get a bit of a sweat on. The last part of your question, how did you get to sleep while suffering? I've got videos on this. If you search for sleep on this channel, you'll see more information, but just to touch on that right now, sleep was a massive, massive problem for me, as it is for many of you on this eczema healing process. There was a point where I was tying my hands together behind my back in order to not have disrupted sleep, and in order to not wake up with blood on my pillow, because I had eczema on my face at one point, and that, putting my arms behind my back and tying them there, was the only way that I physically couldn't reach my face. If I tied them together in front, I could just reach both hands up and I'd still manage to scratch in my sleep. If I wore gloves, I'd still just scratch through the gloves. There was no kind of glove that I could use that was soft enough so that I still didn't manage to tear my skin open on my face. How did I actually get to sleep? Well, the biggest turning point for me was bringing in the combination of enemas and the garlic program, which is raw garlic right before bed. I recommend actually doing both of these before bed. The enema and the raw garlic, do both of these as the last part of your day. So do the enema first. Do an enema. Got videos on the channel about enemas. And when the enema is done, your bowels are completely clear and clean, then go down to the kitchen and chop up 1 or 2 cloves, depending on your size, of raw organic garlic. Just chop it up really small, mince it up as small as you can get it, and place it onto a spoon, and then place it into your mouth and drink it back with a glass of water. Take it like it's a pill. Medicinally, don't chew it, and I promise you it will not affect your breath. What garlic does is it stands guard in your gut overnight. It stands guard as a powerful antibacterial, antimicrobial, and it can prevent you from it can prevent your free radicals and that sort of thing, giving you more inflammation whilst you're asleep. It can just settle your gut, and it just stands as a watchman against all of the general digestive processes that are going on inside of you whilst you're asleep. As I'm sure you're aware, most of your healing happens when you're asleep, and so garlic can help to make that whole process just more lower inflammatory and more peaceful for you. You'll sleep deeper. And that combined with the enema, that was a real turning point. Did I still itch? Sure, at times, but it was a massive leap forwards when I started to bring in that combination. And so I recommend doing the enema and the garlic together, and I recommend doing the whole thing for about a month daily, and then give yourself a complete rest from both, and then see how you go. If you need to do more garlic than what I mentioned, then you are welcome to do that. If you do start getting any sort of heartburn or discomfort from doing the garlic, then yeah, you just want to take a break or go really easy down to like half a clove or something like that. Moving swiftly on, some of you will have seen a post here by a guy called Ben Zabia on the group, on the Eczema Healing Community group, and he posted some pictures, and it's not often we get pictures that are so candid posted on that group, is it? Thank you very much indeed, Ben, for posting those. And he's just asked me to touch on TSW again, because he's realized that the cream that he was using, that he thought was a healthy herbal remedy from China, actually contains steroids, or he heavily suspects that it's steroid containing. And this is a pretty common story, Ben, to have these kind of unlabeled or Chinese labeled products that actually contain steroids, and they're sold to us as natural herbal medicines. And it's not just China, there's other countries, and even in westernized countries too, America or the UK or Australia, this sort of thing is going on where stuff secretly contains steroids. Why do people put steroids into products secretly? Well, it's because they work, and they know that most people don't want to be consuming steroids or putting steroids on their skin, but they will always work to mask symptoms off and make you feel like the product is worth the money. TSW, let's just give you an overview again of what it is. TSW stands for topical steroid withdrawal, and this is where you've used steroids topically on your skin for many years usually, and when you start to come off, your body really reacts and it goes red. Another name for it is RSS, red skin syndrome, and your body reacts because it's gotten dependent on the topical steroid, and so your skin breaks out in a way that is beyond eczema. It's beyond what you would otherwise have, because you've built up such a dependency, and also the toxicity that's sitting on your skin is so high now from having used so many steroids that when you come off them, your body goes into a massive wave of detoxification. And the really sad thing is this can last a long time. It can last months or years of people going through TSW. And there are charities surrounding this. There are organizations. ITSAN, ITSAN, ITSAN.org, I think it is a big help for people that are going through TSW. I recommend having a look on there. With ITSAN, I would stay away from the kind of more negative stuff if you can, and try and be realistic about your situation. I have coached probably 5 or 6 maybe now, people that have been going through pretty deep TSW, and 2 or 3 of those have been longer term ones, so I've actually coached them all the way out to the other side of TSW, where the red skin ceases and everything starts to settle down and the body starts to be really efficient and getting used to the food and starting to digest food really well, and all the rest of it, and that's really encouraging. It's really exciting when that starts to happen. And so I've seen people come out the other side of TSW. I did get a little bit of TSW myself, but not a huge amount, because I really limited the amount of steroids I used topically on my body. So I do have some experience of it, and when I went through my healing crisis, when I first went plant-based, um, my skin really broke out in a TSW kind of a way, which I had for several months afterwards. But TSW is probably the worst thing in this whole process of healing eczema, and that's the number one reason why I don't recommend steroids. It's not because I don't think they work. It's not because I think that drug companies are the most evil people on the planet. I think they're pretty evil, but I do think in some ways they do a job. It's primarily because TSW. If you use steroids and you get into using steroids, you might have to go through TSW, and it's horrible. There have been suicides. There have been horrendous cases of TSW, and it's just not a laughing matter at all. It's horrible. And for those of you that are going through TSW right now, keep us in the loop of what you're going through on the Eczema Healing community, and we will do our best to be a community around you and to support you through this, because emotional support is something that you need as much as you need physical support with your food and your lifestyle and so on. So let us help you. Let us help you as much as you can, and try and be open and honest with us about how you're feeling, and let us help you. TSW is where you need the most amount of emotional support. As those of you know, Coach with me, a lot of what we talk about is kind of emotional support, because a lot of the educational side of it, how to eat, how to live, that's just stuff that you know you should do, but it's the emotional support that actually gets you to the point where you can do it. And TSW is, yeah, you need all the help that you can get. So look, Ben, we're here for you, and stay in touch. Please let us know how you're getting on, and we will stand by you, and we want to see you get through this. We really want to see you come out the other side of this. That's what the Eczema Healing community is here for. That is what it is by design. So keep us in the loop, keep us updated with what your skin's doing and how it's breaking out, and do your best to keep a light heart. Do your best to just to stay light about this, and don't get too insular, and don't get too inside your own head. Don't judge yourself by what you see in the mirror. Judge yourself by the content of your character. Judge yourself by your last meal instead, and you'll get through this. You'll be right. How are we doing? 23 minutes. Let's just get into one more, and then we might wrap it up. Might wrap it up for now. Dates and dried fruits. This is a pretty common question. Should we be eating dates and dried fruits? Are they good for you? I'm looking to increase the daily calories I consume. Do you have any other recommendations for doing so, like doing smoothies or other tricks? All right, so let's tackle the last part of that question first, shall we? You're looking to increase daily calories. What are the recommendations for doing so, aside from smoothies and getting in dates and other dried fruits and stuff? Sorry about my voice, I've been talking for so long today, but okay, daily calories. First question, why are you wanting to increase your daily calories? Is it because you're looking to bodybuild? Are you looking to be more active? Why are you specifically trying to eat more? In general, what I advise people to do is eat whole plant-based foods to satiation. Find foods that you like and eat them to satiation. And then after you've been doing that a few days, then have a look at calories. So relative to your height and weight, are you under eating? Are you losing a scary amount of weight? If you are, and you are new to this lifestyle, then most probably you're not used to eating in volume. And so rather than trying to go for more dense foods, I think a safer way is just to try and eat a little bit more, even if it's just 100 calories more or 200 calories more in the day. Um, just getting that volume in might be something that you need to just try and do a little bit, just to get your body used to feeling fuller. Because if you're used to eating dense foods, animal products, and that sort of thing in the past, then you're not used to the volume that you need to eat on this lifestyle. So increasing the amount of calories, I just think that it takes time to get used to the volume, and I don't really recommend going for denser foods, unfortunately, because I don't think that they are more conducive to healing. Denser foods tend to be more dehydrating and harder to digest. So we want to stick with the easy to digest stuff, right? The high water content stuff. So just try and eat more often, maybe go for 4 meals a day instead of 3, and just get more food in. Dates and dried fruit now, to the first part of your question. Dates and dried fruit. I think they are generally safe as snacks. If you're just talking about eating them in their whole form, I think they're generally safe as snacks. With dried fruits, I'd always look at how they've been dried, and if they've been dried using chemicals, then I'd avoid. But if they've just been sun-dried, naturally dried, dehydrated, whatever, then I think they're fine as snacks. But if you are going to snack on them, then make sure your hydration levels are really, really on point, because both dates and dried fruits are on the lower end of water content, so you need to be making sure that your water content is on point. My favorite way, by the way, on the healing program to eat dates is to make Daterade, and that's where you blend up a bunch of dates, maybe 5 or 10 dates, and blend it with a whole load of water. So you turn it into a completely liquid, very, very liquidified form, and it's really like a sort of, how would you describe it? It almost tastes a bit like caramel, like you're drinking caramel. And obviously you want to drink this slowly because of the sugar content and how dense dates are. And if you're eating them, and this goes for dried fruit as well, you definitely want to eat them slowly. Don't get carried away and start cramming them in. Chew everything, chew each mouthful 30 times. Eat as mindfully as possible. And enjoy Daterade, because it's a way to make sure that your water content is right up there, and you're adding water back in as well, which the sun has removed from the natural production of dates. So yeah, in general, I love them. You know, simple sugars. At the end of the day, all fruit is good, and the more fruit that you can eat, the better. And so, yeah, I definitely don't think shying away from them is the answer here. If you're having problems, I think adjust how you're eating. And we've sort of done full circle here, haven't we? Because that's how we started this live stream, was about sugar and how it can have an effect on the system. So, yes, is the answer. They are good for you. Dates are good for you. Dried fruit is good for you. It's high in minerals. It's high in all of the things that we need to thrive as humans. And so we want to get those things in. And if they're causing you problems right now, slow down, look at what you're eating them after, because they might be catching up. And that's what can cause constipation and bloating and that sort of thing. If in doubt, have them completely on their own. Have them first thing. Do what you can do to keep them away from other foods. So look, I'm going to wrap it up there. There's a few more questions. I need to do a few more of these live streams. Let me know what you think. And if you've got questions that you want answering in these live streams, then post them in the comments underneath this video. Or get on the Eczema Healing Community Facebook group if you're not on there already, and post your questions. You can also email me, info@eczemahealing.org. I will be prioritizing those who are on the pay for platforms. Of course, your questions will always be answered first. And quite often I will just directly message you back anyway, for those of you on the pay for. So you don't have to wait until I do a live stream to get your questions answered. But all the rest of you, post your comments and questions down below, or on the Facebook group, and I will get back to you. See you again soon in the next video.